Senator Kennedy.
Thank you, Madam Chair and Ranking Member, and thanks to all of you for taking up the nomination of Secretary Brouillette, who is now our Deputy Secretary. As you know, he operates as basically the Chief Operating Officer of the Department of Energy, and with your consent, he will be elevated to the position of Secretary. Dan is not from Texas. He is from Panckertville, Louisiana, which, as you know, is near Napoleonville, Louisiana. When Dan grew up in Panckertville, we both grew up in small towns. There were 211 people in Panckertville. Now there are 911. I grew up in a little town called Zachary, which was slightly bigger when I grew up. A small town is the way I've always described it, and I'm so blessed to have grown up in a small town. A small town is a place where everybody knows whose check is good and whose spouse isn't. Dan's a rock star as far as I'm concerned. We've seen such a dramatic change in energy in this world in the last 25 years, maybe even less. Dan has watched it. He's been part of it. I remember our energy policy in America used to be, okay, we're going to buy as much oil as we can from countries that hate us, and through those sales, we're going to give them money to buy weapons to try to kill us. Thankfully, the world has changed. We've had a revolution in fossil fuels. Our oil and gas industry, frankly, with the federal government hanging all over its back, went out and through technology has unleashed enormous amounts of energy from shale. But we also understand, and I don't want to get into debate about climate change, we also understand that melting glaciers don't lie. And so our policy now is to look at alternative forms of energy: wind, solar, geothermal, nuclear. Dan gets all that. He gets all that in part through his experience. He and Adrienne are both veterans. Dan's a veteran of the service in our military. He's a veteran of service in the state government level. He's a veteran of having served Congressman Billy Tozan in the House, for which Dan automatically has a place in heaven. And he has served with distinction as Deputy Secretary. He's a serious man. He exercises power intelligently, not emotionally. And he and Adrian will make a great team, and he will be an extraordinary Secretary of the Department of Energy. And this Louisianian has my wholehearted and unconditional support.